Welcome and good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. This is March 8th, 2020. My name is Angela Harmon, and I'm here with my beloved sister, prayer partner, friend, confidant, Ellen Swazo. Welcome, Ellen. Happy
Hi,
Wednesday.
everybody. Welcome to Conscious Conversations.
Yes, thank you. And this is all because my prayer partner, my friend, my sister said, I like that conscious conversations that you do. Let's do that. So we have decided to do this on a bi-weekly basis on Wednesdays at noon. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell yourself, put it on your calendar so you know it's there. And this is our opportunity to just conversate consciously. And what we want to do is always begin with what we call a spiritual mind treatment. People call it prayer, affirmative prayer. I like to say affirmative words. We always want to set the tone in our days. We always want to put first things first. And that's what these conscious conversations are about, putting first things first. So I'm going to let my sister open us up with what we call spiritual mind treatment. And anytime you need more of that from us, we are your practitioners. So thank you, Ellen, if you would open up.
Yes. Thank you, sis. Thank you, Angela, for that introduction. That was beautiful. We would love for you to experience what we have been able to experience for the last year and a half that we have been doing prayer partnering together. And at the same time, give you a taste of what you're going to get at the retreats that we will be hosting going forward. So a treatment is based on 7 steps. My sister likes to do the 7 steps. I usually just do the 2 steps, so I will let her explain the last 2 because I'm more into the 5 steps. And the first step is to recognize that there's only one God, one power. The second is to unify ourselves with that power because we are one with that power. The third step is to recognize the recognition of the qualities of divine love, of divine guide, patience, love, peace, all those beautiful qualities that makes us happy. Okay. And the fourth is to give thanks for being able to recognize that we are that we are one with the one. And the fifth one is to release it into the law, knowing that doesn't come back to us void because God got our back. So, sister, what do you do in the 6th and 7th step?
Right. So what happens for me when first step is recognition, and I'm the 7 habits guru. So I like that I do the 7 habits 7 days a week with 7 steps of treatment. So the first one is recognition. Is a power greater. To me, that's stopping being proactive, giving a pause for something bigger to happen. And if we can let something bigger happen, that's the God part. So that's the first step. Second step is that we're unified with that. So really it is kind of 1 step and 2. And then third step is H2O Mondays, is the affirmation, saying what we want, exactly what we want, how we want it. That's why we're doing this. Then the fourth step in how I do it is sometimes there is some doubt. I don't always know where the money might come from for a bill, or one of our actual examples is where I had to have a breast exam and I didn't want to be concerned about it, and we prayed about it, but I didn't want to bypass the thought that I had some concerns that it was in my family. So that's that step for me. I don't think we should bypass anything. If there's any fear that comes up, any anxiety, anything that comes up, and that's what practitioners are for. So that's why I like that step. And then because we've acknowledged that, we know that's not the truth. The truth is we are all healthy, we're all whole. So even if we don't know the truth, we know that the people around us know the truth. We're going to draw them to us. That's the law of attraction. So we affirm that we're healthy and we're whole. And that's what she said. I agreed with it. We gave thanks, which is step 6, and then we release it, step 7. So we're
Beautiful,
going to
beautiful.
actually open up with a treatment. We won't always do that, but we wanted you to know that this first run out so you can play this tape over and over again. But what we'll do moving forward is jump right into those 7 steps and you'll be able to follow us along. And
That's
so
right.
sis, if you would open us up, that would be great. We'll hop
Yes,
into our topic.
definitely. Beautiful. So allow ourselves to just be centered in that space, knowing that all is God, regardless whether we see it or not. Everything is God. There's not one thing that is not God. And as we recognize that truth about God, we're recognizing that truth about ourselves, about each one of us, that we are one as God, unifying ourselves with that energy, with that spirit as God. And as we recognize that, we recognize that all the qualities of God is ours to have and ours to enjoy: peace, love, grace, happiness, joy, abundance, prosperity, all the good qualities. We know that those are qualities of God. And we also know that those qualities, especially the quality of love, transmute anything and everything that is not of God, anything that is not God. We know that for sure. We have no doubt about it. And we affirm this. We use this prayer to affirm our truth, your truth, everyone's truth, regardless of what is showing up in the world, regardless of what's going on in your life, in our life. We know, I know that there's only one power, one mind, full of grace, full of peace, yearning to live through you as you, yearning to express itself in its fullness as you and me allow it to be it, and allow ourselves to be authentically the God that we are here to be. And I'm so grateful and so happy that we can do this, that we can affirm this truth. And I pass it to my sister.
And I know that as we get ready to put first things first always in our lives, that we don't let language get in the way. I'm a Northerner, you might be a Southerner, you may be from another country or from another walk of life. This is for children of all ages, knowing that there's a power within us that grows us, that guides us, that loves us. So the first thing is for us to love ourselves, have self-respect, self-care. And if we can have those things by putting those things first, we go out in the world doing the same thing with everyone else. So we are here to be respected and cared for individually, collectively, and globally. So we release this power to each powerful person so we can play together in the world together and have peace together. And so it is.
And so it is, and now it is beautiful. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna hop into our topic. Well, this is what I've been using that everybody has fallen in love with. We're actually going to have this on My Happy Academy's website, myhappyacademy.org. You'll find it. It's not there yet. We're working on it. So today's topic from First Things First is really putting you first, putting your happy self first. A moment of choice is a moment of truth. And each day has just a little blurb. Some blurbs are longer than others. But today we will speak to a moment of choice is a moment of truth. How do you digest that, sister?
Isn't that a beautiful? It's a true statement, right? Because we are choosing whether we agree, whether we think we're choosing or not. That's what I know, right? So we're always choosing. That's just how it is. Whenever you choose to do something or to be or to show up in the world in a certain way, depending on the condition, depending on the situation, you can choose to be authentically yourself, or you can choose to wear a mask just to fit in and to be accepted by others. So I think it's very important that we, as we move forward and as we are in this path of, in this journey of being who we are here all to be, we choose wisely and to be authentic of who we are here to be. Because when we do that, we can be happy, we can live peaceful, and we can also be agents of change and show others how to be authentic, show others how to be themselves. That's my take on it.
I like that. You went a whole nother spin. I saw it so practical. I guess that's my IBM, my IBM mind. I remember when they wanted me to become a manager, they were really setting me up for that. And I like what we're doing now. I like training and having my own environment that I have a say over. It's almost like how you manage your own kingdom. So when they were in the moment of truth, they dangled money and management in front of me. And I decided I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. It didn't make as much money. It wasn't as glamorous. It wasn't all those things that they were dangling in front of me. But in the moment of truth, I think I had a longer career because of that. A lot of those people that were in that environment ended up outsourced or let go. And I
Mm.
was with the company until 2020, and I could have actually probably found another job within IBM because my leadership was, will help you. Dangling again, I think, and I prayed on it like what we just did, and it says you're covered. I just heard the word covered, and that meant this book came out. If I was still at IBM, this book would not have come out because you need time to do your work. And that's back to putting first things first. So if you don't put you first, the moment of truth is putting you first in my mind. So that's what
Mhm.
I see. Putting your good self first, not your selfish self. Because we could be selfish. I could have took the money, you know? But I had a higher purpose, and we can use our higher self, which I say is living above the line, or we can do our lower selves, which I say is living below the line, again, from my Covey days. Because it's either important to us and sometimes urgent, or it's a waste of time. You know, why would we want to spend our time wastefully? And only we can measure that. You know, you can only tell whether that's worth your while. To my sister and I, this is worth our while to share with the world what works for us. So that's how I see the moment of truth.
That's beautiful. It goes back to choosing, you know,
Mhm.
the moment of truth, of truth.
Yes, it does.
Because
It is. It
it
is.
goes back to choosing, because as you say, you could have chosen the money. You could have chosen to be in another department within BIM, but you chose to follow your heart. You heard the voice. And a lot of times when the voice speaks to us, what I know is that it might not make sense, or it doesn't look so safe to do.
Not at all. I'm like, what are you talking about? How I'm gonna feed myself? What are you doing? So yeah, we can question it, but I think that's our human side too. You know, that's fear. You know, faith is above the line, fear is below the line. So I think anytime we go into fear, that's when we pray. You know, that's what affirmative prayer is. That's what treatment is, because I'm gonna read yesterday's just for the audience. I actually put it on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I think it matches what we're talking about. Any week or day or moment in life is uncharted territory. It's never been lived before. So that's what treatment does. If we don't have the answer for something, we've never done it before, and you know, nobody's you. So you got to ask that to guide you. You know, it could have, and it guided me to say no. I was guided, and I think we all can be guided to do the right thing, because we can be guided to do the wrong thing.
And when we speak about the right thing for you, right? Because the right thing for you doesn't necessarily means the right thing for me.
Correct.
So we must, and I think that that's the reason why I say we must um, be authentic with ourselves, be ourselves. And you did what your higher self asked you to do, right? Because we have the little self, the human self, and the higher self, because the higher self can see beyond our humanity. Okay. And so when we follow the higher self, I think that we're one way or another, it makes a way. That's what I know. It makes a way. And when you trust that, you say something so beautiful. There's fear and there's faith, right? There's fear below and there's faith above. So we must rise to faith. And that's what prayer does, right? Prayer and treatment helps us. It doesn't mean that we don't feel the fear. It doesn't mean that we don't feel every emotion that everyone feels. But the difference is that each one of us, know that there's a higher vision for our life. So we commune with spirit, and it allows us to go into what it wants us to be and what he wants us to experience, because what he has in store is something a lot of times that we can't even imagine. That's what I know.
I think I can. I think it lets us live up to our imagination and beyond. So if it's something you want to do, like writing the book, I lived up to my imagination, but beyond it was how it came about with the illustrations and the beauty. You know, I look at this book every day in amazement. It's just like I've given birth to another child, and I'm just in awe of it. So we do get to live out our dreams. But
Mhm.
what is freedom to you? What is happy to you? You know, this book is going to give me more freedom than not because of how it was born. So it's back to cultivating you. You know, when you're giving birth to something, the law of the harvest say you don't naturally give birth, but you're growing something. The universe does most of the work, you know, with the sun and the nutrients in the ground and all of that. But we
Yeah.
plant the seed, you know.
Yeah.
So don't expect watermelon if you plant it as a cantaloupe, you know. So that's we get to pick what we want, and it can
That's
be
right.
abundant, but we still pick, and it comes through us.
Yes, yes, that was beautiful. That's beautiful. And I love that you said, yes, you can imagine. But what I always know is that God, divine love, universe, whatever you want to call it, it has it has bigger idea, greater idea than the vision or the imagination that I have for my life. That's what at least I can speak um, about that because I have lived it. I've lived it every single day in my life. I have experienced it, and every single day I experience it because it's higher, it's greater, and better than what I can imagine. That's what I have come to live, and this is what I have come to experience. So yes, having my imagination, allow imagination to run and just be true to yourself. You know, be true to yourself because that's what it's about. That's what
Right.
it's really about.
And
Being
yeah, we'll wrap up with that. I'll give you something from the habits that my sister here triggered in my mind. You know, I do the 7 habits of highly effective people. And when we're proactive, that's the prayer part or the affirmation part, the begin with the end in mind part, whatever you want to do. But in order, we know our genetics and our psychic background and environment has an effect on us. We don't doubt that. But when we want to be in prayer and pause, self-awareness, imagination, conscious and independent will. Let me read those to you. That's what we do. Self-awareness is examining thoughts, moods, and behaviors. Imagination is visualizing beyond experience and present reality. Conscious, which is why we do this, understanding right and wrong and following personal integrity. So that's keeping your word to yourself. I don't get to tell you what your word is. I tell me what my word is,
right.
and you tell you what your word is. If you break your word, that's not personal integrity. An independent will, acting independent of external influences. So that's what, again, what Ellen said, you know, even if it looks crappy on the outside or they're dangling money over here, you got to listen to what your personal integrity tells you that you want to do.
Right.
So with that said, please know that we both have our own businesses. I'm Happy Academy, and Birds of a Feather is going to be around growing relationships of all kinds. That's why we're starting here with conscious conversations. And my sister will, my website is myhappyacademy.org. A lot's going to be happening there. And you can buy my book, Birds of a Feather, at my website. You can just go to the homepage, scroll down and click, and it'll take you right there. But if you want to see what it looks like, you can go straight to Amazon and purchase it, and it's going to benefit children of all ages. Sis?
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We encourage you to share this with in your pages, in your social media pages. You'll share it with everyone so everyone can see it and join us every other week. We and if you want to know more about what we do, you can find us at ellensuazo.com and also holisticentrepreneursonline.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing week, and we'll see you
In 2
the
weeks.
following time in 2 weeks.
Be
Bye-bye.
happy. Thanks, sis. Let's pause.